Babe, it's really not me, it's the baby. Baby want me to eat biscuit dipped in okra soup, and if I don't, baby will be sad. Jack responded saying, "What do you mean it's the baby? Who eats biscuits with okra soup? Is that even a thing?"
Meet Jack and Emma, two dog lovers whose paths crossed in the most unexpected way. One sunny afternoon, in a bustling dog park, Jack and Emma were both walking their overly enthusiastic dogs. The dogs got tangled up, causing Jack and Emma to bump into each other and fall. As they untangled the leashes, they shared a laugh, realizing how absurd the situation was. "Well," Jack said, "it looks like our dogs had a plan to bring us together." "Seems like it," Emma replied with a smile. "I'm Emma, by the way." "Nice to meet you, Emma. I'm Jack." Their conversation flowed naturally, and they decided to meet again. Jack and Emma started dating, and their journey was filled with memorable and hilarious moments. On their first date, Jack planned a romantic picnic in the park. However, a curious squirrel decided to join them and stole their sandwiches. Emma laughed so hard she had tears in her eyes. "Guess the squirrel was hungrier than us," Jack joked. Despite the picnic mishap, they enjoyed each other's company and continued seeing each other. Their second date was at a cooking class. Jack and Emma, both novices in the kitchen, ended up creating a disaster. Flour flew everywhere, and their pasta dough looked more like a science experiment gone wrong. "I think our pasta just came to life," Emma laughed. They ended up ordering pizza and spent the evening talking and laughing about their cooking fiasco. On their third date, Jack took Emma to a comedy club. They laughed at the jokes and found themselves holding hands by the end of the night. The highlight of the evening was when the comedian asked for volunteers, and Jack, always up for a laugh, went on stage. His impromptu dance moves had the entire audience in stitches, especially Emma. "I didn't know you could dance like that," she teased afterward. "There's a lot you don't know about me," Jack replied with a grin. As their relationship progressed, Jack and Emma enjoyed discovering new activities together. One weekend, they decided to go hiking. What was supposed to be a relaxing day in nature turned into an adventure when they got lost on the trail. After hours of wandering, they finally found their way back, tired but happy. "Well, that was an adventure," Jack said, wiping sweat from his brow. "Best adventure ever," Emma agreed, smiling. Their dates continued to be filled with laughter and fun. On a rainy day, they decided to stay in and have a movie marathon. They built a fort out of blankets and pillows, and Jack made popcorn. Halfway through the second movie, a pillow fight broke out, leaving both of them laughing uncontrollably. "I think we should do this more often," Emma said, catching her breath. "Agreed," Jack replied, still chuckling. One evening, Jack planned a special date night at an upscale restaurant. Dressed to the nines, they enjoyed a fancy dinner. However, Jack's nervousness led to a series of clumsy moments, including spilling water on the table and knocking over the bread basket. Emma found his nervousness endearing and helped him relax. "Just be yourself, Jack," she said, smiling warmly. "That's who I fell for." As they reached the 6-month mark, Jack knew he wanted to propose. He arranged for a skywriter to spell out, "Marry me, Emma," in the sky. However, a strong gust of wind caused the message to read, "Marry me, Emma." Emma laughed hysterically but said yes. "I guess we're having a merry marriage," she said, and they both laughed. Their wedding was a blend of sweet moments and funny mishaps. The ceremony took place in a beautiful garden, with flowers blooming all around. As Emma walked down the aisle, Jack's eyes welled up with tears. When it came time for the vows, Jack, nervous and emotional, accidentally said "lawfully wedded whisk" instead of "lawfully wedded wife," causing everyone to burst into laughter. Despite the hiccups, the ceremony was perfect. The reception was filled with laughter and joy, highlighted by a dance-off between the bridesmaids and groomsmen that had everyone in stitches. Not long after, Emma decided to announce her pregnancy to Jack in a special way. She baked a cake and wrote, "We're having a baby," in icing. Jack, not noticing the message, dug into the cake. "Did you see the message?" Emma asked. Jack, with a mouthful of cake, replied, "What message?" Emma pointed to the half-eaten cake, and Jack's eyes widened in excitement. "We're having a baby?" Things took a turn for the hilarious when Emma's pregnancy cravings kicked in. One night at 2 a.m., she suddenly craved biscuits dipped in okra soup. Jack, determined to fulfill her craving, scoured the city and finally found okra soup. He returned home only to find Emma asleep. "You better still want this in the morning," Jack muttered. The next day, Emma woke up and immediately craved the biscuits and okra soup. Jack handed her the bowl with a mix of relief and exhaustion. She dipped the biscuits into the soup with glee while Jack watched, still amazed at her unusual cravings. Emma's cravings continued to get even more bizarre. One day, she smelled the delicious food their neighbor was cooking and insisted she needed it. Jack awkwardly knocked on the neighbor's door, explaining the situation. The amused neighbor handed over a plate, saying, "Here's some extra for tomorrow's cravings." Emma's cravings got even more creative. She wanted pickles with whipped cream, spaghetti with strawberry jam, and chips dipped in peanut butter. Jack, always supportive, tried these combinations himself, making hilarious faces. "Why do I keep trying these with you?" he asked, grimacing after a bite of pickles and whipped cream. Emma's cravings didn't just stop at unusual combinations. One day, she desperately wanted a dish from a restaurant that had closed years ago. Jack attempted to recreate it based on her vague descriptions, resulting in a series of kitchen disasters. "Is this even close?" Jack asked, presenting a dish that looked nothing like the original. "Not at all," Emma laughed. "But I love the effort." As the pregnancy progressed, Emma developed some peculiar habits that kept Jack on his toes. She started talking to inanimate objects, thanking the fridge for keeping her food cold and the microwave for heating it up just right. Jack played along, giving the toaster a pep talk before making breakfast. Then there was the singing. Emma insisted on singing lullabies to the houseplants every night. Jack, wanting to support her, joined in with funny off-key harmonies. Neighbors overheard and thought there was a nightly concert happening in their apartment. One week, Emma became obsessed with knitting tiny hats for all their furniture. Jack came home to find every chair and table adorned with a colorful woolen cap. Another week, she rearranged the living room based on feng shui principles she had just read about, leading to a confusing but hilarious new layout. As the due date approached, Jack attended a childbirth class to prepare. However, he hilariously misunderstood everything. He practiced breathing exercises in inappropriate places and even tried to swaddle their cat, leading to chaos. "That's not how you swaddle a baby or a cat," the instructor said. During labor, Jack fainted multiple times, and Emma ended up comforting him between contractions. Despite the chaos, their baby was born healthy. "Looks like I was the one doing all the hard work," Emma teased as she held their newborn. As they settled into parenthood, Jack and Emma reflected on their hilarious journey. "Remember when I craved biscuits with okra soup?" Emma asked. "I'll never forget," Jack chuckled. "How about the time you wanted our neighbor's lasagna?" They laughed together, their bond stronger than ever. "Now it's my turn to crave something weird," Jack said, grinning. "How about mustard on a donut?" "As long as you share," Emma replied. Their love story, filled with humor and unexpected moments, proved that laughter truly is the best ingredient for a happy life. In the verdant valley of Ander, giants and humans once lived together in a delicate balance. The giants, towering at twice the height of the tallest man, possessed immense strength but were gentle by nature. They harvested the colossal fruits that grew on the highest branches and shared them with the humans. In turn, humans cultivated the land and provided the giants with the finest grains and vegetables. Together, they built a civilization that prospered for centuries. The harmony was maintained by an ancient pact, sealed by a mystical artifact known as the Heartstone. This luminous gem, embedded in a towering oak at the heart of the valley, symbolized the unity between giants and humans. As long as the Heartstone glowed, peace reigned. But peace is a fragile thing, easily shattered. One fateful night, a terrible storm ravaged the valley. Lightning split the sky and struck the ancient oak, cleaving it in two and sending the Heartstone tumbling into the river. As the gem disappeared beneath the churning waters, its glow faded, and with it, the bond that held the two races together. However, the storm was no natural occurrence. In the shadow,
Like, subscribe, share and turn on notification for more stories.